Dream Team, it's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys, and here we are with Isaac Butterfield taking a trip to America. I'm excited to jump in and hear his review on America, but before we do that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What you got, Isaac?
I got to meet Joe. I got to meet Joe Rogan, the dude who,
That's
I
so
listened to
dope.
his podcast, got me
That's
into
so
stand-up.
dope.
Absolutely insane. I was hard as a rock. Ladies and gentlemen,
That's so dope that he got to meet Joe Rogan, bro. Joe's freaking phenomenal. He's
I
phenomenal.
love America, land of the free, home of the homeless dude trying to stab you. Honestly, guys, I've been in America for 3 weeks now, and it is quite bad here when it comes to the homeless population trying to take your life. It's like The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah. Dang, they be trying to take your life. I thought he was just gonna say it's quite bad with the homeless population because we do have a large homeless population, 100%. But dang, they try. I don't know. He was in. Where was he at? They trying to take your life.
Here, if The Walking Dead was a series about people who really love prescription drugs and falling asleep on the ground. I've been here a couple of times already, and this is my best trip by far. I've been lucky enough to travel with my wife and my son. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've learned really early on that we can travel with a 5-month-old baby. Everyone else hates us because he cried on the flight yesterday, but them. There's been so many great positives about this trip, but let me tell you this, people of America with your red, white, and blue genders, there are some negatives about this country that you need to understand. But first, the positives, okay? There's plenty of positives.
Hey, give us, know what I'm saying? Give us our dessert before you give us the vegetables. You know what I'm saying? We want the good stuff before we get the negative. I appreciate that, Isaac. I'm scared of the negatives. I'm scared for you to get to those.
We spent most of our time in Texas, which was a real big positive.
Greatest state in the U.S., the greatest state in the United States of America, Texas. You can't help but love it.
Went around and did some podcasts like the Unsubscribed podcast and Uncle Laser's podcast and the Drinking Bros podcast. That was really, really good. Met some really good people, and you should check out those shows. Good dudes. I also got to go to Joe Rogan's Comedy Mothership, the massive comedy venue in Austin. It is sold out every single night. It's incredible. Some of the best comics from all around the globe are there. Just like me, but I was in the audience. Anyway, it was really, really cool because I got to meet Joe. I got to meet Joe Rogan. That was absolutely mind-blowing. The dude who, by listening to his podcast, got me into stand-up and got me into doing videos and all that type of stuff. Really, really crazy to be there, meet him, talk to him, and all that type of stuff. Absolutely insane. I was hard as a rock. Another pro about America, and it's still about comedy, is the comedy is better here. It is so much better. Like, there's something about performing every single night to new crowds that makes you a better comedian. We get to do it in the Melbourne Comedy Festival for a few nights, maybe 20 nights, but people here get to do it every single night. And on top of that, comedians aren't fucking scared here. They will joke about everything, and they do. One of the things about the Comedy Mothership in Austin is they use these little
when he say they will joke about everything, yes. If you don't watch my boy Dave Chappelle, he don't give a god dang about being canceled, and you can tell in his comedy shows. But yeah, any and everything. I feel like sometimes you do gotta watch what you say on certain things. But I've never been to the Comedy Mothership, so I feel like that'd be dope to go out, check it out. But I'm so glad he got to do what he loved while he was down here.
Yonder pouches, so everyone has to put their phone in there and you can't access it during the show.
Oh,
so
wow.
Everyone's gonna, record a video and put it on the internet. So you can talk about whatever you want, and that is potentially the best thing to ever happen to comedy. Because it was going down a path where everyone was terrified to say anything. Texas is great, all right? Everyone's got guns, the food's amazing. We went to this one place, Archery Country. The dude who owns it, salt of the earth, the best human I've ever met. Just lovely. He would put us in his house if we wanted to. Just lovely country people, as it were. Beautiful people. Other great things about Texas, food was huge, love that. And everyone had their dogs out, which was really cool. I did see one person who I thought was doing their nails, like, trimming up their cuticles in the gutter in Austin, but it turns out they were shooting heroin into their fingers, which was real cool. Not necessarily a negative, just
They were shooting heroin into their finger. Oh my God. Y'all, nah. That's crazy. I'm over here rubbing my hand on my leg now, just even thinking about something like that. That's insane.
Just something interesting. There's so much variety for foods and drinks. You can get alcohol everywhere because they don't treat people like little babies like they do in Australia. They can get it anywhere.
Really?
It's great. If you're on a diet like the keto diet, there's keto snacks, there's keto options. It's fantastic. I did put on about 45 kilos, but I did diet for 3 months before I came over here. So we're sweet. We're back to ground zero, as it were, which is honestly a great way to describe my disgraceful body. Some parts of Texas actually felt like home, and we're thinking about spending some time over there a couple of months next year while we do shows around America. And that was one of the big points, and one of the reasons we went to America this time is to do a bit of a fact-finding mission and find out where we should go and how we enjoy it. And the great thing about it is we fucking love Texas and we want to stay there. Now, I know I did mention to the great
I appreciate that, Isaac. And like I said in the beginning, Texas is the greatest state in the U.S. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's nothing but greatness out there in Texas. Of course, it has a little bit of negatives. Everybody got their negatives, but it's Texas. It's Texas. Need I say more? Isaac said enough for us.
American people who watch this channel that I was going to come and do shows this year. I'll give you the 10-second version of what happened, and it was actually quite a personal thing that happened to the gentleman involved, so I'm not going to go into it. But the agent who was booking all the shows and getting everything done, the visa and stuff, he had some family issues, and he had to deal with those, and that's the end of it. So that's basically what happened. But next year, I'm back, bitches. I got to meet the great Sydney Watson. What an absolute legend. You should check out her YouTube channel. I also went to where JFK was shot. Mind-blowing, hilarious. But I tell you what, the dude who did the tour there didn't like conspiracy theories, so that guy, everything was a mainstream narrative. What a wanker. And my favourite part of being over in America was I had my first Father's Day. In Australia, we celebrate Father's Day in September, and I had my first Father's Day, and I got to spend it with my little man and my wife, and we had just such a beautiful time.
So freaking awesome. So awesome.
But there's some cons about America. There's some shit over here that stinks. And I'm not talking about human shit on the street in San Francisco, or basically everywhere in California. But I would like to start with California.
It's California. Yeah. California, California do Californian things. We in Texas, we don't really claim California. You feel me? They're weirdos who live in ridiculously high-priced places.
Yeah, Los Angeles in particular. LA, your worst place on earth. The slums of New Delhi. Look at it and go, do you need a hand cleaning up?
He said the slums of New Delhi. Look at it and go, do you need a hand cleaning that issue? That's crazy. Now, this is sad, though. My heavens.
Beirut, that had that big explosion a few years ago, they're offering brooms to help sweep up the mess. It looks like District 9, like all the homeless people are those prawn things running around. It is just awful. And the people suck dicks. They suck. Not only am I talking about the OnlyFans models that just call this place home, I'm talking about people rude, obnoxious. I did learn that a lot of people in LA love camping. Camping by the side of the road, camping under bridges, camping everywhere. There is a huge homeless problem everywhere across America. Apparently in Alaska, they've actually been flying homeless people. I just saw this recently, Claire's sitting next to me, that they're flying people one-way tickets to California out of Alaska, which is hilarious.
Are you serious?
There are so many homeless people, and obviously it is a terrible, terrible thing. People are dealing with homelessness, which I can't even fathom how horrible that is, but they are finding themselves either addicted beforehand to drugs, prescription drugs, alcohol, whatever, and they find themselves on the streets with no mental health help, there's no assistance from the government. They're just there to rot and die, and they end up like zombies. All these guys and girls just, like, you see them asleep, standing up. It's crazy. I've also noticed that a lot of people are dumb, particularly in California. Like, I went to
Hey, man, just California. We don't rock with you, California. Those streets were ridiculously dirty, litter everywhere. We do have a homeless problem here all over the U.S., but y'all see in California, it's bad. Like, bad. It's another level bad. And you Californians, I've been to California a couple of times. I didn't actually have a bad experience there. It's just that everything was so much more expensive, and I was like, "Get me back to Texas as soon as possible."
Chick-fil-A, right? And the person behind the counter was like, "Yeah, what do you want?" It's like, well, he didn't have an Australian accent. He's like, "Yeah, man, what do you want?" I was like, "Oh, what do you what about this bit of chicken burger?" I called it a chicken burger, like an idiot, all right? You mean a chicken sandwich? Yeah, I mean the chicken sandwich. Obviously, maybe if you guys spent less time, worrying about drag story times in school and spent more time, I don't know, with comprehension, you would have more intelligent people working in your fast food stores. And actually, I drove past the McDonald's near where we were staying. We're in Disneyland, by the way, that's why I'm wearing this shirt. Drove past the McDonald's. They're offering $17 an hour for people to work at the McDonald's. That's like $55 Australian an hour. That's some good cash. We'll leave far away for a minute. New York, we went there last year. New York's fantastic, a beautiful place. But I'll tell you this much, the subways are terrifying. You take your life into your hands every time you go on the subway. The first day we were there in New York, we actually, we experienced a terrorist attack, which was hilarious. A dude shot up the train station before us. Absolutely terrifying. But hey, when in New York, what is the most New Yorkian thing to do? Experience a terrorist attack is the answer. But then
I see. I've never been to New York before. I don't know if I'll ever go to New York. I feel like I might want to go just for a couple weeks. But sheesh, he shot up. The moment he come to New York, they done shot up the goddamn train station.
San Francisco. We wanted to see the Golden Gate Bridge and the house from Mrs. Doubtfire. So we went to San Fran. San Fran makes LA. I can't even come up with adequate descriptions in my mind to explain how piss poor San Fran is. They just fronted the police, so there's crime everywhere. It is bananas. They tell you at the airport, do not leave anything in your car. Your car will be robbed. They tell you that.
Oh my God.
It's horrifying, all right? There's humans everywhere, right? There's homeless people. There's nothing wrong with homeless people. They're in a bad spot. But these everywhere, like, do something. All these major outlets have left San Francisco. I think AT&T left. I think Nordstrom, which is like a department store or something. Target's gone. Everyone's gone, all right? Because there's so much crime. One of the laws that was passed in California recently, I think it was I can't remember what the bill was. Bill something, all right? But basically, they now have it as a misdemeanor crime if you steal anything under $950.
What?
Basically meaning everyone just goes out and steals. They can't get trouble.
I swear to God.
Ran out of pumpkin spiced lattes at Starbucks. And if you think Starbucks is not good enough for you, grow up. Also, you can America with your tipping, all right? I know you don't want to pay your employees $2 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not paying 20% or 25% or whatever on top of the meal or on top of the service.
Thank you.
It sounds like I'm getting hand jobs. I'm not. On top of...
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you. I completely agree with you. I think it is completely dumb. That's why I do not eat out because of this stuff, man. Like, it's ridiculous to have to pay for your food and on top of that, also tip. Like, that's dumb. The company should be paying these workers fair wages. Like, they should not put it on us as customers to have to pay them as well as pay for the food. It's absurd. Isaac, I'm 100% behind you on this, my guy.
Whatever I'm paying for, just because you don't want to pay workers. But if you do want me to do that, then don't make it as expensive or more expensive as to what I would pay at home and then expect me to pay 20% more. That's stupid. Put your tax on your items when you buy them. You buy something for $12, you get it at the counter, it's $15. Hello. Why don't you just make the change on the price there? You also don't understand sarcasm. I was in the airport in San Francisco just the other day, traveling to Los Angeles. What an awful trip. I scanned a can of Diet Coke because I watched my figure. And this lady walked over and said, I was using that, oh sorry, she didn't say it like that. She said, I was using that self-checkout. I was like, all right, sorry mate. And I threw a bit of Australian humour on there because I'd already scanned the Diet Coke. I said, oh, looks like you're getting a Diet Coke. Anyway, she was like, no, I don't want a Diet Coke. It's like, I was joking, you dumb thing. I've also been really turning up the Australian accent everywhere I go because I understand you can't understand me, which is hilarious, right? I was in the elevator here at this resort we're staying at. Yeah, we're at a resort. Patreon or whatever. Buy my merch. Anyway, I was in the elevator, turned the Australian accent up to 45. I was in there and I was going, me dick, you know, is really red raw, me cock's red raw. Oh, I tell you what, I can't wait to stick me cock in some ice when I get back to the hotel room. No one knew what I was saying. It was great. I didn't say anything here. What's worse than all of that is people here actually believe Joe Biden is a good president.
When I signed the bipartisan infrastructure again, which...
What? There are so many large overweight people at malls, at Disneyland, wherever we are, who are using these mobility scooters, which are hilarious. And this is a con, although it is also a pro because it's quite funny. But I saw this one lady stand up today, because apparently her legs still worked, and she was wearing a see-through, like imagine stocking material or pantyhose material.
Yep.
And see-through, like a skirt of that, you could see her entire, and I imagine, I didn't see it from the front, her front bottom as well. How can you get into Disneyland like that? Like they check all your bags, but
it's legit craziness, and nobody want to see all that. Like, we don't want to see all that. Like, cover yourself up, please, please, kids. This is Disneyland. It's mostly kids here. Jesus.
They didn't check this giant woman's. What did I write? It was very funny. This giant woman's cavernous molehill. Medical insurance is terrible. If you stub your toe, you're up for 200 grand. You're fucked. That's a very big negative. Get some travel insurance. People don't like white people here either. That's something we've noticed. We get a couple of looks. Not everyone. Not everyone. A lot of people are nice, but I have noticed that this whole division of the people is really starting to get to some people. It's a real shame that people care that much about the colour of your skin. And here's my last con about America from an Australian.
Give it to me.
Everyone here can get a gun very easily. And the reason that's a con is because it's great that I can get a gun, because I love guns, I enjoy shooting guns, good fun. But some of the crazy individuals on the street can also get a gun, which terrifies me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go back to being a dad. We're going back to Disneyland, but we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, with regular programming after I fly back from Los Angeles back into my home. Thank Christ it's good to be back, even though I'm not back when I'm recording this. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be good to be back. Make sure you check out the shows that are on sale throughout regional Australia and Victoria at the end of the year, and I'll see you next time for another video. Be a good mother...
Dang, I'm glad to hear his experience here in America. You know, the bad experience just came from California and New York. You know what I'm saying? Texas, there really wasn't nothing bad he had to say about Texas. Way more pros than cons, and that's because Texas is the greatest state. Like, it's the best state. Point blank, period. Simple as that. No arguments about it. But yeah, we do got a lot of problems here. A lot of problems. I completely understand where you're coming from, Isaac. A lot of things we can fix and that we need to fix, and hopefully one day it will get fixed. But yeah, that's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. It's your boy D Neal. Out.